go. We are live on YouTube, and we should be picking up any background distortions. For that up for me. All right, there we go. All right. All right. Everybody hear me okay? How's everybody doing? Let me know.
Doing well, doing well.
All right, cool. My mic is working, my earpiece is working. Good. I'm going to start my recording. All right, good evening, everybody. This is Calvin Butler with the RBBS Logistics, and it is Thursday night, and it's 8 time, so it is time for How to Dispatch training. And tonight, training the How to Dispatch series number 6, which is operations and BOLs. Last week we went over load acquisitions, how to find loads on load. So once you've found those loads for the carrier, you broker, you negotiated your rate, with you carry as much money as you could for that load. The carrier likes it. You're gonna tell the broker, go ahead and shoot me over the rate confirmation, and we're going to get this thing done. We are right now. Okay, you've already found the load. You kind of let the carrier know this information. Everything checks out. Everybody's all good. So it's time to get that carrier out to pick that load up, and before you find rate confirmation. So that's where we're at tonight. Tonight we're gonna go over rate. You're gonna have Janie in the house, Barb in the house, James Sears in the house, Tasha Washington in the house. Tracy is in the house, Teresa, and Alicia Johnson is in our live training here on Zoom. I want to welcome you all. I'm going to start sharing my screen so we can recognize people on YouTube. Go ahead and recognize them on YouTube. See who we got in tonight on YouTube. So far tonight, what we have on YouTube, we have 2 people watching, so not a whole lot of people have checked in yet. So we're still waiting for people to check in. YouTube channel, and we're still waiting. Now, while we're waiting for people to check in on YouTube, as you all know, every so often I do a series called the Load Board Report. Like 6 a.m. in the morning. I'm changing it up a little bit. Starting on morning, I'm gonna test it out tomorrow, but officially starting coming Monday, the Load Board Report will be back, but it is going to be at a later time. It's going to be at probably a.m. or maybe 7 a.m. Sometime between 7 a.m. and is going to be the Load Board Report. Now, the reason why I'm pushing that back is because it's going to be more interactive, okay? It's going to be a lot more active, all right? So what I'm going to be doing with the Load Board Report is, instead of just having people to call me up, or go online on YouTube and look to the load, and I go to the load board and I show them what's available on the load board, we're gonna start doing when I'm gonna actually find that load, and we're gonna go through the steps of booking that load for someone live on YouTube. So please mute your mics. To those of you who can, make sure you. We're gonna be interacting with brokers live. So you're gonna get a real heads up of how to deal with brokers or how to live on YouTube. Okay, that's what we're gonna. Now, I'm working out my logistics and the camera work and how I'm gonna do this, but it's gonna be done by and it's actually gonna be a combination of 2 lives. So doing a load board report, you're gonna have one live that's gonna be a Zoom. Other one is gonna be from a third party perspective, which is gonna that kind of focuses on my big monitor. As you all know, I have like a 86-inch computer monitor. Is monitor slash home theater. Is one of those web TVs. So up on the actual monitor, and the second camera view is going to be a second, but it's going to be like you're actually there in the room with me watching stuff. So that's what we're going to be doing from here on out with the load. I'm testing it out this weekend to make sure everything works properly and see how I can. And we're going to go ahead and shoot for our very first Imagine load board report on Monday. It's going to be completely interactive. I'm getting some speakers for my phone so that when I call brokers, you get a conversation. You all will be able to see the load board. You'll be able to load. You also have a Zoom view. So it's actually going to be 2 with simulcast at the same time, both on YouTube. I'm hoping I can pull that off. I should pull it off, but I'm going to try it, and I'm going to try and work it out. I'm going to try to and Saturday to see how I can make it work. And Monday morning we have this thing together, and it's kind of excited, to go completely with brokers, talking to brokers, have them on the phone. And then once I once we get the price and everything settled, I'm gonna have the person who was on YouTube or who has called me up on the phone looking for a load, have them to go ahead and call that broker and get that load taken care of. So this from on the load board report. I hope y'all like it. I hope that doing and the load board report is going to be between 7 and 8 a.m. or 8 a.m. I haven't completely decided yet, but it's going to be somewhere between 6 a.m. Brokers are in the office, so I can actually get a hold of brokers, because some conversations with the brokers on booking freight. Okay, so let's go ahead and do what we came here to do. All right. Hope y'all had a great week. I'm coming with migraines, but hey, it is what it is. I was able to get myself back. Let's go ahead and do the rate confirmations first. I know I got them on here. Oh, here we go. Jones T. August. Yeah. All right, so it's going to pull this one up. That should be it. All right, we have that one. That's not the one I really want, so let's go with this one right here. There we go. That's the rate con I really want. All right. Get a rate con that we have up. People on the live Zoom, can y'all?
Yes.
All right. Can anybody tell me what they think of rate con? What is a rate?
Rate confirmations confirm everything that the rate, how much the driver's going to get. It tells you about the load, tells you what's required, for the load to be, taken where it is, where it's going, where it's coming from. Should give you times of delivery and picking up. I'm sorry, I don't know what else.
Hey,
I'm a little lost.
that was very good. That is on what it is. You hit it right on the head. You explained it very well. The confirmation is just what it says. It is a confirmation of this broker up. It is a confirmation of where the load picks up the load, the time the load is going to be picked up, when the load should be dropped off, the money that is paying to the carrier, like the load number. It should have things like instructions. It should be followed. The rate confirmation is probably one of the most documents you're ever gonna have to review. And here's the reason: because if a broker is going to screw you over, it is going to happen on the rate confirmation. If it does not exist. Let me repeat that. If it's not defined on the rate confirmation, it does not exist. And second, on the rate confirmation, you and your owner have to follow all of the instructions on the rate confirmation. Because if you follow all of the instructions, it could mean that you don't get paid. Okay? So that's why it is very, very, very important that you that rate confirmation, that you understand that rate confirmation, and that you make sure that your driver is know that they have to follow all the instructions of the rate confirmation. Okay, because that's what's going to determine if you get paid or not, or if you get paid partial payment or not. Because these rate confirmations are very specific instructions and things that you must do. First of all, in order to pick the load up. Because if you don't do certain things that are described in that rate confirmation, they're not that shipper that is that has that load, they're not going to let you on the premises. They're not going to allow you to pick that load up. And if you're not following the instructions on your drop off, or when you're dropping that freight, they won't allow you to come in and drop that freight off. Okay? And if you miss your times, then that could be grounds for you not being paid at all. Very important piece of document. This is probably the most important piece of document that you are ever going to have to deal with. It's the rate confirmation and the BOL, bill of lading. Does everybody understand that? If I stress how important the rate confirmation is.
Is this where if you see where something is kind of out of whack, or you feel like it's out of whack, you begin to question it? And,
exactly.
and yeah, okay. Let me ask you, what kind of dialogue do you have? In other words, when you're looking at this, and what kind of things do you find typically that are wrong, or that you need to have dialogue about?
The things that's gonna trip you up on rate confirmation is this: make sure you realize that how many drops it is. Okay, that's one of the big things. Because sometimes on the load board, it won't tell you that it's a 2-drop load, or it's a 2-drop, or it's a two drops and 2 pickups. You see what I'm saying? On that trip. And if that was not discussed when you talked about that load on the phone, and then when the rate comes over, and you see that it's a 2-drop load or a 3-stop load, and that wasn't discussed, you need to get back on the phone with that broker, and you need to have a conversation with them. Hey, I wasn't aware that this was a 3-stop load. That was not mentioned in our conversation. And on the load board, it only shows just the pickup point and the one drop-off point. Now, if there's going to be extra stops in between, we need to discuss more money. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because you may have scheduled another load after he drops that load off, and you're calculating what it takes you to go from point A to point B, right? And if you've already booked him on another load, 2 hours after he's scheduled to drop off that load, if they've got 2 stops in between there, that's going to throw your whole timetable off, right? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you want to make sure that you go over everything on that rate confirmation. Make sure you read it thoroughly. Make sure that your carrier understands everything on the rate confirmation. Okay. In the beginning, when I'm dealing with a carrier that I haven't dealt with in a while, like if I have a new carrier, I read the rate confirmation to them before I send it to them. That way I know they understand it. You know what I mean? Seriously. I would literally read the rate confirmation to them and make sure that they understood everything on that rate confirmation before I send it to them. Okay? So that's how important the rate confirmation is. And you'll see that when we're going through here. Now, this is a rate confirmation. Rate confirmation is usually going to have, the bill to, the shipper's information, the receiving shipper information. It's going to have all that. It's going to have certain instructions. Certain things it's going to have a load number. Some people call it a PO number. Load number, PO number, that's the same thing. Okay? Load number, PO number, that's the same thing. You're going to make sure that you have your bill to name, the address there, a phone number. Most of the time, there's going to be a fax number. If not a fax number, it's going to be an email address. But most of the time, it's going to be a phone number and a fax number. It's going to have your load number here or your PO number. Okay? It's also going to have your scheduled pickup date, which in this case, 17th, delivery date on the same date. Okay, not a very long run load, so it's going to pick up and drop on the same day. Okay, it's going to have the carrier's information there. The carrier on this load was Dixon Delivery. Has their phone number, their fax number. Over here, when you see where it says attention, that means they want you to pay attention to this. This is telling you right now, I need your attention. Okay, and Raycons will have this stuff labeled. It tells you right now, I need your attention. The equipment is flatbed with 8 foot tarps. Right? So if you're dispatching a flatbed and they don't have tarps, what do you need to tell them? You need to go get some tarp. Because this load requires tarp. Because when they go to pick that load up, if they ain't got tarp, guess what? They're not gonna load it. Okay, that's your first, right off the bat, is giving you some things that you must have. It's giving you instructions right off the bat. Okay, sometimes it will have the truck and trailer number, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it will have the driver's information, the driver's number, and the cell number. Now, you may want to put that in there. And a lot of times brokers want to know this stuff in case they have some information that need to relay on the fly, or there's some changes or whatever the case may be. They're able to contact that driver directly and give them directions, directions, directly. They may have been reported bad accident, on the route. They got a different route for them to take. They will send that over the GPS, but a lot of times brokers will call the dispatchers, and you as a dispatcher, it's your responsibility to make sure that driver knows what's going on as far as route changes and stuff like that. Okay. Load instructions. This is very important. Your driver and you have to follow these instructions. Okay. Reference number. It gives you a reference number right here, right? And it gives you a pickup number. Why do you think it says pickup number? Can anybody tell me why it says pickup number?
That lets you know if if you're going to be late or something like that.
Well, not only that, when you go to pick the load up, they're going to ask you for what? A pickup number. They're not going to let you. They're not going to let you on the premises. You get to that gate.
I see. Okay.
When you get to that gate, the first thing they're going to ask you, what's your pickup number? You're going to give them the pickup number. They're going to have you on the schedule as far as when you're supposed to be there and what time you're supposed to be there. Because sometimes if you are late, they're not gonna let you in. Okay, so that's why you got to know that pickup number in order to get onto the premises to pick the load up. Okay, it tells you right here, must reference PO number 3816 on all paperwork. So that must be on all paperwork. 3816. Okay. 23552 BF 2x8. Number 1, the height, right? All this stuff right here, suspensions, all that stuff right there. Load must be tarped at all times. Receiver must see it tarped to avoid a fee. Y'all are starting to get a sense of how important these instructions are now. Very early on in this rate confirmation, it gives you some very specific instructions that must be followed, first of all, in order to even get onto the premise. Second of all, another set of instructions that must be followed, things that must be there in order to avoid a fee, which means it's gonna be, if you don't do those things, you're gonna get less money. Your carrier's gonna get less money, you're gonna get less money.
Calvin, could you please explain that 2x8 and then the number 1 KD? What does all that mean?
Those are the dimensions of the because this is a flatbed trailer. Okay, it has to be able to fit this stuff on it. Okay, there's the height, type of suspension, 8x96 by 10, 20 inches. Load must be tarped. It's giving you what the dimensions are, or what that trailer has to be able to accommodate. Okay, the driver would know that, because if he's a flatbed driver, he's gonna know that. He's gonna know what that is. But that trailer has to be able to accommodate those dimensions.
Okay.
Okay, that's why I said, that's why these are load instructions. Okay. All right. On the pickup, there's the company name or where it's going to be picked up at. There's the address. Now, look there. What does it say? Scale on site. Ask for ticket. So before you leave there, get that freight weighed. Get that trailer weighed once you are loaded up. So there is no excuse when you leave and you get pulled into a weigh station and they weigh you and your dimensions are off and it's not balanced out right, then whose fault is it?
It's the driver, right?
Yeah, it's always the driver's fault. Even if it ain't the driver's fault, it's always the driver's fault. Why? Because the driver's fault is going to pay the consequences. Right? Right?
Yeah, he's supposed to be doing it according to what the load instructions say, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's when the rubber meets the road. If it's
exactly
not what it needs to be, then it's a problem. So it's
exactly.
I understand. So it's always the driver's fault.
It's always the driver's fault. I see this. This happens a lot with dry van drivers. Look, I can't tell you the number of dry van carriers I've seen that got in trouble with DOT and got their license restricted because they pulled into a weigh station. They went to the place to get loaded. You know, the people told me, yeah, it's this much weight. But even if they don't have a scale at the place where you load up at, it is the driver's responsibility to stop at the very nearest truck stop and pay to get what?
Weighed. Okay, I got you.
Because I have seen it time and time again. Drivers leave the shipper. They don't stop at the truck stop to get weighed. They take their chances. They get pulled into a weigh station. All of a sudden, the dimensions are off and it's too much weight to where they can't even move the tandems because you can actually move the tandem on the trailer to balance the weight out the way it's supposed to be at. But if it's too much weight, there's no way you're going to be able to balance. And Well, they sit out there for hours at a time trying to get it balanced right. They can't get it balanced right. Guess what happened? DO says you gotta shut it down right here. You can't leave here with it. And you just got a ticket. You just got a violation for overweight. Which means you got to come back to that, to wherever it is you got that violation at, and you got to come back to appear in court at some other time down the road. Because now you got a court summons. You see how much of a hassle that is?
So Calvin, in the case where they go to the truck stop and they weigh it themselves and find out that it's overweight, so what do they do? Go back to
take it back and take some off.
Okay.
you turn around, hey, too much weight, take it back over there to the doc. Hey, and you show them that weight ticket. It's got too much here, too much there. Gotta take some off here. We gotta move this here, move this. We gotta try and balance this out. And if we can't balance this out, we gotta take some off.
So as a dispatcher, then it's our job at the beginning when we're talking to the driver to really take the time to be sure that they understand. Not only they understand, that you understand exactly what they need to be doing to avoid problems. Now, typically, what kind of problems do you have to deal with? You know what I'm saying? When you're at this point right here.
Well, I mean, we're discussing those problems right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, there is no ifs, ands, or buts. If it doesn't balance out, you can't run it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I mean, look, he can't run it. If that weight doesn't balance out, they got no choice but to either try and balance it out or take some weight off. If they can't balance it out, they got to take some weight off. Plain and simple. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. DOT don't play when it comes to that weight. Okay? I mean, to the point that they will suspend your CDL. That's just how serious that is. And once your CDL gets suspended, guess what? That's just like a regular driver's license suspension. You can't get regular driver's license or no driver's license until you get that taken care of in court. See how serious that is? Because if you ain't got that CDL, what? You can't drive. You can't make no money. Right?
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, and then you got a problem as a dispatcher. Now you got to find a way to make arrangements to get another truck to go and recover that load. And in fact, you got to send 2 trucks. Why? Because they got to be able to, whatever it is, they got to be able to take some off of that trailer and put it on another trailer. And you're gonna have to have 2 trucks to go, one with the trailer and one to go recover the trailer that's already there, but you're gonna have to divide that load up. You see how much of a hassle it is when you don't follow the instructions? And that's even a bigger problem because now you got to find a way to split the payment. Because ain't gonna be no extra pay. If anything, it's gonna be less pay because the load is now delayed. But that carrier who obligated themselves to run that load, and you as a dispatcher, you all are still obligated to make sure that load gets to where it's going. So when I tell you all, this is the most important document you will ever deal with, believe me when I tell you that. Do not take this rate confirmation lightly. Don't ever get to the point where you relax. Oh, I done seen 1,000 of these. I know what I'm doing. I ain't gonna read this whole. You better read it. Every single letter. You better read it from top to bottom. Every single letter. Because if you're gonna get screwed up, if you're gonna get tripped up, it's gonna be on this rate con. This rate con is very important. All right, and it must be tarped to avoid a fee. Now you got your pickup right here. The company where it picks up at tells you right here, scale on site, ask for a ticket. Ask for that means get your ticket and you get your scale. You take that ticket. Once you get scaled, hit that ticket up to what's called, and they give you a printout showing you what the weight was. That's your official document that shows you that you are balanced out. Okay? So take that, keep that the way you can get it, where you can have it. So if you get put into a weigh station, you got all documentations, it's done in scale, you good, you covered your behind. All right. All right. So it has that there. Has the where the city and state tells you what the goods are. The goods are lumber. Scheduled pickup date tells you what the date is right there. There's the PO number, right? And remember that number that say you must have? There it is right there. 3816. There it is again. 3816. You're gonna see this number reoccurring because they say you gotta have that. Okay, 3816. That's ship reference and PO number. Okay, 3816. All right. It has your weight right here, 48,000 pounds, and it's got to balance out. Okay, it has a weight right there. All right. The drop has the name of the company and where it's gonna drop at, the address, city and state, right? That right there. What is it asking for again? What number is it gonna ask for again at the drop? Anybody?
3816.
3816. If you ain't got it, if you done lost it and you don't remember it, you ain't getting in and ain't gonna get dropped and you ain't gonna get paid. Okay. Also,
I'm
yeah.
sorry. That number is the driver responsible for writing that on all of his paperwork, or should it be pre-printed, or?
It's on this paperwork.
Okay.
This is on the rate card when it comes from the broker.
Right.
But just in case, shouldn't you have a copy of it too?
Right. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Even if you gotta put your pad right there beside you because you know you got that driver, he's en route, write it in big bold letters, 3816. So in case, who knows? I mean, I don't know if the wind blows or he stop at a truck stop and a dog come on and take the paperwork or whatever the case may be. But make sure that you all are able, make sure that you all got that number written down somewhere. No matter what happens, you got it. Okay? That's 3816. So you ain't nothing gonna happen without it. Okay? Then again, it's gonna have what type of goods it is, it's gonna have the weight, and what else are they gonna look for at the receiver? Make sure it is what? Remember back up in these instructions? Receiver
Tart.
must see it at what? Tart.
Tart.
No.
Exactly. So you might have left when it was tart, and if you didn't check that tarp, make sure it was tied down properly or whatever. Case the only way there you get there and the wind and blew the tarp halfway off. Guess what? It ain't tarp. Tarp means tarp. That means completely tarp, tied down properly, secured the way it's supposed to be. It does not mean when you get there, two of the strings done came loose and a piece of it is hanging over on this side right here. Guess what? They're gonna be an a-hole about it until you know that that ain't tarp. We got to cut your money. If y'all think I'm kidding, ask somebody who knows. Okay, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. They are just that anal about these instructions. Make no mistake about it. Make no mistake about it. Okay? Now, some more instructions. And these are in capital letters. Driver must call 800-218-6525 for dispatch loaded and empty. Failure to call may result in a $100 deduction. Now that's not you. That's their dispatch. So when that driver gets loaded, he must call it in to that number. I am loaded. Y'all got that? Or he may call you, and then you call in that number. The driver is loaded. Where's that number going to? Anybody want to take a guess at where that number's going to? That's going to the broker. So somebody better call that broker when that driver gets loaded. The broker says driver. So you want to make sure the broker calls them, and then you're going to also do what?
Follow up call.
You're going to follow up and you're going to make the same call that driver made. Hey, did my driver call you and tell you he loaded already? If he did, he loaded. Okay? And you must do the same when he gets to the delivery and he is unloaded. Okay? Hey, did my guy just call you to tell you that he's empty? Yeah, okay, well, I'm just checking. Okay, because that's a deduction of $100. This confirmation governs the movement of the above reference rate as of the date specified and hereby amends is incorporated by reference and becomes a part of that certain transportation contract by and between broker and contracted carrier. Carrier agrees to sign the confirmation and return it to the broker via fax, and carrier shall be conclusively presumed to have agreed to the rates set forth herein. Okay? So if that rate is different, what y'all discussed before, you can make sure that y'all go back and make sure that y'all understand that that's the rate. By its signature below, carrier further represents and warrants that said mutually agreed upon rates are reasonable and compensatory, that the freight would not have been tendered to carrier at higher rates. Remember what I said? If it ain't on this rate con, it ain't so. So if you heard them say 3,000 on the phone and there's 2,500 on this rate con, what is it? After you sign it, what is it?
Oh, it's 2,500.
2,500.
It's 2,500. So if you heard them say 3,000 on the phone and you get this rate card and say 2,500, get back on that phone before anybody signs and say, hey, I thought we discussed 3,000. What's this 2,500? Oh, my bad. I was thinking about, and they're coming on. Oh, my bad. I was thinking about another load. I'll get that taken care of. I'm gonna send you the updated rate card right now. Okay, because they're gonna try you. Look, if a carrier's gonna try you, I'm sorry, if a broker's gonna try you, this is where it's gonna happen at. Okay, because they know you got a lot to deal with this rate con. There's a lot of information here that you have to assimilate. And they figure, well, he's trying to do all this. I might be able to slip this for a couple $100 less by. Okay, so look, read this rate con, understand this rate con. Okay, tendered to carrier at higher rates, and that no shipments handled under such rates will subsequently be subject to a later claim or under charges. Facsimile signatures are legal and therefore binding. See, that's in capital letters, right? Y'all see that's in all caps, right? It is agreed that you and your driver are responsible for all shortages, damages, and any late delivery fees assessed to us due to failure to deliver when due. Whew, that's a big one, ain't it? That's a big one. That driver gets caught in traffic, what you better do? Get on the phone. Call that broker up. Hey, my driver just got caught up in traffic. He's in Atlanta. There's a bad accident. They say, well, let's see if we can reroute him to get him back on track. What do we got to do? Or let me call the shipper and see if we can see if we can reschedule his drop off so he don't have to suffer the losses. Because if you fail to contact that broker and let that broker know that that carrier is going to be late, guess what? You violated your contract. Y'all see how important this document is? And there's not another piece of document that's more serious than this. I promise you that. There's not another piece of document that you all are going to deal with that has more implications and more consequences to not following direction than this document right here. I promise you that. So far, this document can cause your carrier to lose his CDL. This document can cause you not to get paid. This document can cause you to have to call up 2 more carriers and have them to go and recover the load and split the load up, and you got to convince them to take half pay, which means you probably gonna get no pay. Y'all see how serious this document is? This is a serious piece of paper, ain't it? Very serious. Don't you all ever take this document lightly. And I've seen a lot of carriers that kind of just kind of glance over, okay, and they sign it, don't even really read it. Boy, that's a big mistake. Big mistake. Okay, big mistake. Okay, all shortage and late fees assessed to failure to deliver when due. It is carrier's sole responsibility to call and verify pickup and delivery appointments. Now that carrier means you. And the carrier, because you are what? That owner op business manager. That's why they hired you. Remember your dispatch agreement? That's why they hired you, to facilitate this stuff. So where it says that carrier sole responsibility, yeah, ultimately it's there, but you are contracted to do that for that carrier. So make sure that you do that. Make sure that you verify the pickup and delivery appointments, and make sure you convey that to the carrier. If in most instances you confirm it and have the carrier call to reconfirm it, or have the carrier call to confirm it and then you call to reconfirm it. Why? Because it's just that important. Okay. Pursuant to our verbal agreement of 12/13/2017 between Kelly and Thornburg of Henderson Incorporated and Dixon Delivery, hereafter referred to as carrier, both parties agreed that Henderson Incorporated, load number 55130, will be moving between the locations above. Payment information: all invoices must have signed carrier confirmation bill of lading attached with invoice. Now, next week when we go over invoices, I'll show y'all how you can attach it, because if y'all have seen from my previous channel, I always attach what? 3 things that always get attached to the invoice: rate confirmation, BOL, and your dispatch agreement, your signed dispatch agreement. Okay. Total agreed charges, $500. Okay, that's the total agreed charges by Dixon Delivery. Right there by the body, authorized signature goes there. Kelly Thompson, by the title, whatever, email, all that stuff goes there, phone number, all that stuff. That is a rate con. and that is a rate con. And most rate cons are gonna be like this. Now you gotta get some rate cons that are gonna be handwritten. Okay, they're gonna be handwritten. And you gotta be real careful when you're going over them, because a lot of them A lot of rate cards and bill of ladings are gonna look like this. Okay, that's basically just like a facsimile copy or a picture of one. So that means you gotta really look over this stuff. You know what I mean? You really gotta look over this stuff and really know what you were looking at. Okay. Any questions about the rate confirmation?
No, sir.
All right. Hopefully you all completely understand the rate confirmation. Okay. But the only thing you really got to know about the rate confirmation really is read and understand everything. If you do that, if you read, understand, and follow the instructions, you'll be good. But when you get in trouble at is when you don't read the entire rate con, right? That's when you're gonna get in trouble at. Does everybody agree to that?
Yeah.
All right. All right. Sure. Everybody agree that you must read those rate cons, okay? You gotta read those rate cons. You gotta read, you gotta understand the rate cons. All right, you gotta read, you gotta understand the rate cons. All right, I muted everybody here for a reason because I'm getting some feedback, and when I get ready to, I'll let y'all know when y'all can unmute yourself. All right, but you gotta read these rate cons. Those are very important. Those are essential. Let me jump over here to my YouTube people to see if anybody has presented a question about these rate cons. What is going on with my YouTube? All right, here we go. I don't see any questions on YouTube. Y'all give me a second here. Okay. For some reason, it's in a different version here. Where am I at? Y'all give me a second. Let me go to it over here. Where is I got all this stuff going on. Y'all give me a second. Y'all give me a second. Trying to get back to my YouTube people real quick. There we go. All right. I don't have time to deal with this guy tonight. But see if anybody else got any questions on YouTube. Report this. All right. Does anybody have any questions on the Raycon? Any questions? Nobody has any questions?
I have a quick question in reference to, I guess, the technical side of this.
Sure.
So when they send that over to me, then I would probably upload it to my DocuSign and then send it over to my driver. Is that how it works?
Yep.
Okay.
If you have DocuSign, you can do it that way. Now, some brokers, most brokers are not going to be too anal about how it's sent over. You could send it over on DocuSign, or sometimes a carrier will give you permission to go ahead and sign it. Okay, depends on what your relationship is with your carrier. Okay, but sometimes if you got a good relationship with the carrier, they say, yeah, go ahead and sign that for me and shoot me over a copy of it so I can take a look at it. Send it to them by DocuSign, by email. Most carriers have a nice phone; they can pull it around on their phone. If you email it to them, they got a nice clear copy of it.
Okay.
If you send it by DocuSign, carriers are able to get that on their phones or tablet. They can sign it right there on right there on the touchscreen tablet. A lot of brokers will allow you to take a picture of it and send it, but what they're gonna want to see is a signed copy of that BOL coming back. So it can be signed in person. You're gonna get actual paperwork there at the receiver. Okay, you're gonna get that paperwork, and you're gonna have you and the person who released it to you, who took possession of the load. Everybody's gonna sign it, and then he can then take a picture, a snapshot of it, as long as it's a good snapshot, and then send it to you. Or a lot of brokerage firms now have an app. There's an app that you can get where you can take picture of your documents, and it loads up right into their website. Loads up right into the broker stuff. Okay. Have any of you seen that app that a lot of brokers have now? A lot of big company drivers, Covenant had one, they had their own app. There's a app where you can load up all your paperwork. You basically it's the app allows you to scan your paperwork. Instead of you having to go to a truck stop, scan it in, and then send it like that, they got these apps now where you can scan it right there in your truck. As long as you got a phone with internet or you got a tablet that's connected to the internet, you can scan it right there from the app. Go to the app, pull up, it clicks, scan paperwork. You just get your good, nice, quick copy of it. You scan it, it loads up right into the app. And then you can review it right there in your app, and then you send it. From that app, they can send it to the broker, and they can send it to you. Okay? So a lot of broker firms have that. I know Warner has it. JB Hutt 360 has it. TQL has one. There's a lot of these big brokerage firms. They have apps that you can just load stuff up right in. Good afternoon, everyone. Golden Child says hi, everyone. Marquita Oliver says detention pay has to be listed if offered. Yes. That's something that you might want to bring up. If it's not on there, bring it up to the broker and make sure that you all have an understanding as to what detention pay, what the rate is. And does everybody know what detention pay is?
That's when you're held up at the pickup point.
Pickup or delivery, either
Or
one.
delivery. Okay.
Yeah, either one. Okay, but mostly it's at the pickup point because you have a schedule to be somewhere at a certain time, and with delivery, then you can get detention pay on either pickup or delivery or both. Okay, usually when is the time when detention pay usually kicks in, if it's been discussed? What is the time that's most commonly agreed to that you must be loaded by? If you're not loaded by that time, you start getting paid X amount of money for every hour you go over that. Can anybody tell me what that most agreed to time is? Anybody?
I'm gonna guess at 15 minutes, half hour.
No, it ain't that. It ain't that. You ain't gonna get no detention pay if you've been held over 15 minutes. No. All right. Detention pay is usually agreed upon that if you are held up, if you're not loaded within 2 hours, okay, every hour over 2 hours, so you got to hit that 3 hours before you start hitting detention pay. So they allow, it is given that it can take up to 2 hours to load. That's normal, okay? But once you hit that 2 hours, start keeping track of your time. Because once you hit 3 hours, you're supposed to be getting detention pay if you discussed it and agreed upon it. I've seen detention pay go anywhere from $50 to $200 an hour. Okay, so it can be some good money, especially like if, and I'm gonna say the places that normally have where you're gonna get detention pay? FedEx. When you go to FedEx, you're gonna be there. FedEx has the nicest. Hold on here. Got some people that's trying to get in, I think. Hold on here. Where are my participants? Oh yeah, waiting room. All right, there we go. All right. FedEx has probably the nicest carrier lounge I've ever seen.
Calvin, on the bill of lading, it doesn't talk about detention
I
pay.
gotta redo that.
All right. And can y'all hear me again? That was Damien. I guess he was busy. He wanted to know if we had class tonight.
I
Yes.
wanted to ask on the bill of lading, is detention pay on that, or does that have to be a discussion, and then is it added on to the bill of lading?
No, that has to be a discussion and it has to be added on to the if it's added on at all, it's added on to the rate card. Because detention pay, it should be discussed with the broker. And then the broker has to discuss that with the shipper. Because remember, the broker gets paid by who? The shipper. The broker represents the shipper. You represent who? The carrier. You see what I'm saying? So when discussing the detention pay, you discuss that with the broker.
When do you discuss it with them?
You discuss it with them when you start talking about the rate.
Do you do that every time?
Not every time. I mean, if it's a shipper that I know from experience that they normally get in and out pretty fast, I probably don't worry about it. But anytime I deal with FedEx, FedEx, UPS, Walmart, what's another one? I never dealt a lot with Amazon freight, but I hear that you better discuss it when you're dealing with Amazon loads too. And Walt Disney, they just paid it. I mean, Disney was great, man. Disney. I've seen Walt Disney pay $350 on an hour for the detention pay without you even asking for it. Maybe it's a Mickey Mouse thing. I don't know. It's a small world. Everybody happy over there at Disney. Don't mind paying. But there are certain places where you know that you're going to be held up. FedEx, that's why I said FedEx has the nicest carrier lounge I've ever seen. I mean, they got flat screen TVs, they got a pool table, they got computer set up for you because they know you're behind gonna be there for they know you're gonna be there for a while. So make yourself comfortable. Okay.
Publix.
Yeah, Publix, that's another one. But I have never gone into FedEx and gotten out in less than 4 hours. I kid you not. I kid you not. When I was with Covenant, we used to go to and look. Not with Covenant, because Covenant was all dropping hooks. But even with dropping hooks, FedEx was about an hour with a dropping hook. That's unheard of. Okay, you're supposed to be picking up a trailer that's already loaded. But I have sat at FedEx with Covenant for an hour to 2 hours long. So you can understand what these drivers that come in, and they got a trailer that's got to be loaded. You see what I'm saying? FedEx is notorious for long pickups and long delivery times. Oh my God. You're going to be there a while with them. Their loads usually pay very well though, but you're going to be there for a while. All right. So find a way to talk about detention pay when you're discussing the rate. Okay, just casually bring it up. we're talking about the rate. Is that 2,500? Is that the best you can do? Well, I'm almost at break even right there on that right now, but I can probably get you another couple $100. Okay, well, see if you can give me that another couple $100, and I'll talk to my driver and see if he can go ahead and confirm that he wants it. He wants a load. While I got you on the phone, what's the detention pay rate? Just bring it up as if it's like it's something that's automatic. Just be nonchalant about it. While I got you on the phone, what's the detention pay rate? Okay, just bring it up like it's nothing. Looks like it's gonna rain today. It's probably a normal conversation. Okay. Deborah Spencer says 2 hours. Detention pay. Hello, Mr. Calvin, and good evening, everyone. I'm just tuning in. That is GGC greatness. All right, thank you for chiming in. All right. So now let's go over the BOL. Okay, that was the rate con. Let's go ahead and go over this BOL. All right. This is, about your average BOL. Okay. The BOL is your bill of lading, short form, not negotiable. As you can see here. This is your receipt. This is your receipt that basically says that the load was delivered on time, it was delivered intact, it was delivered without damages or whatever the case may be. If there was damages or anything, it's going to be on this BOL. They're going to put on the BOL what the damages were, what was what, all that type of stuff. All right, the BOL, make sure that the important thing about the BOL is make sure that it has all the necessary stuff that the broker is going to want to see. They're going to want to see where it was shipped from, that company right there, the address, USA, whatever the case may be. Going to have the number, bill of lading number, going to be right there. Most of them, 90% of them is going to have a barcode. Okay, make sure it has the barcode. All right, it's going to have where it was shipped to. Okay, the address, all that stuff right there, the telephone number. Going to have the carrier's name. Okay. Sometimes you have a seal number, sometimes you won't. That's not very important. If it's there, it's there. If it's not, don't worry too much about it, but make sure you got your pro number and your SAC code. Okay. The SAC code is a code that the carrier runs under to when they're delivering freight. Okay. My SAC code, as a broker, brokers have SAC codes too. As a broker, my SAC code was RBBT. That was my SAC code. Okay, I memorized it. That was my SAC code. That's going to be on every shipment that was brokered by RBBS Transport. RBBT was my SAC code. Okay. Make sure you have any third-party charges, any third-party freight charges billed to. They're going to be billed to who? Right there, the ship from. Okay. Any third-party charges, those are like, what are third-party charges, y'all? Anybody tell me what third-party charges are? What are some things that will be considered third-party charges?
Is that with the blind shipment?
I'm sorry?
Is that with the blind shipment, the third party?
Well, that too, but other third-party charges can be a lot of things. Okay. Third-party charges can be a lot of things. Okay. Detention pay, third-party charge.
Would it be a lumper fee?
That could be a third-party charge. Okay. Now, in some cases, the broker is responsible for lumper fees. The broker would pay those, but the broker is going to bill that to the shipper though. Most of the time, I'm telling y'all that right, because I was a broker and I always bill lumper fees to the shipper. That's why the broker has that those com data and EFS check code. So because that money is really coming from the shipper. This is why, and this is a little bit on the broker side of it, and I do this on Saturdays, training on broker side. This is why I train brokers, or good brokers, negotiate margins. There's that word again, negotiate a margin with the shipper. Okay, because if you don't negotiate a margin, then you're gonna have to depend on you're at the mercy of the shipper to reimburse for that stuff. Y'all see what I'm saying? But if you negotiate usually if you negotiate a margin with the shipper, see, my margin, I always try to get at least 27% margin on all shipper loads. I start my negotiation at 33, and I always start my negotiation at 33.25% or 33.33%. The shipper will always come back with somewhere around 20%, 15%, 20%. I'll always count them with about 28%. They come up to about 24%. I count them then with 27.9%. They come up to about 26%. I said, let's call it even. Let's call it 26.5 or 27%. Y'all see what I'm saying? That's extra. That's money on top of what the load is paying to the carrier. That's money on top of the load fee. Why do you negotiate that? Because that's how you ensure that you're going to be able to make all the freight attractive. The cheap freight, mid-range freight, and the high dollar freight. That's also how you're going to pad your bank to take care of unexpected fees, lumper fee, stuff like that pops up, right? You know, you may have a carrier that had a flat tire and they ain't got no money to get the tire changed, right? But but a good broker has enough money because they negotiated, right with their margins, because you have some broke carriers out there, and we all know this, right? Guy's got one truck, he has a flat tire, he ain't got it in his budget, but you as a broker, you don't want your load to be late. So you're gonna kick in out your margin, go ahead and pull it in here, and they'll take care of you. That's the mark of a good, effective broker. That's not something that you all have to worry about, but that's just kind of giving y'all a heads up there.
So what kind of discussion do we as dispatchers have to have related to lumper fees?
The other discussion you're going to have related to lumper fees is to the broker. Mr. Broker, the shipper needs the lumper fee paid. Brokers know they're responsible for lumper fees. They automatically know it. If a shipper has a lumper fee, the broker should know that before they even book that load with you. Because why? Because it's their shipper, right? Right? It's their shipper.
Right.
Right? No broker books a load without getting that load from that shipper. Right? The broker knows if there is lumper fees or not. And if they don't know, they're still responsible for paying the lumper fees. Okay?
And lumper fees are just expenses that the driver may have, like if he has to stay over night or he gets.
No, that's not a lumper fee. A lumper fee is for loading and unloading. Lumper fee is for loading and unloading. Now, if a driver has to stay overnight to get loaded or unloaded, that's not normally, they work that out to where it's not part of the detention pay. What they normally do, here's how they avoid that. They cancel the load and then reschedule it. Somebody got a television set in the background. Told you, if you got TV sets in the background, either turn them down or mute your mics. Okay. All right. What normally here is how they handle if a carrier needs to stay overnight. Sometimes, and mind you, pay attention to this. Sometimes, very seldom, will a shipper pay you detention pay for an entire night stay. Pay you detention pay for an entire night stay. what they would do is they would cancel that drop or that pickup, and then they would reschedule you. So technically, once that happens, it's not their responsibility on where you're gonna stay at overnight. I mean, you got a truck with a bed in it, right? Right?
Yes.
Yes.
That's why you got a truck with a bed in it and a refrigerator, all the stuff, all the comforts of home. You got your television set, you got your direct TV, you got your internet, you got your computer, you got all the comforts of home, right? Park right out there outside the shipper, right there on the side of the road, where all the other trucks at. Or if you want to, you can head on down to the truck stop, right? If it's not that far away, but it may just suit you to just park right there beside the road. That's why you always got to keep a little some in your refrigerator. Y'all know what I'm talking about? But I've done that plenty of nights. Plenty of nights. But I've had to shut down, set up right outside the shipper's gate, right there on the side of the road, with about 12 other trucks. Because you got rescheduled. That's just part of the business. Okay. A lot of this stuff is fluid. No, it's fluid. No, I'm sorry, it's fluid. So you have to be. I mean, Darren will tell you he get calls all the time when he reschedule stuff and do this and do that, and because that's just part of the business. That's just part of the business. Okay.
So,
Right.
so how does that process work? So the shipper cancels the order. So who's in contact with who to
You're going to be in contact with the broker, and your driver's going to know because your driver's there. They're going to let them know, right? So the driver's going to relay that to you. You're going to relay that to the broker. The shipper's going to relay it. Everybody's going to be in contact with everybody.
Okay. Okay.
So, but mainly the driver's going to know. Then they're going to let you know what's going on. But why? Because they're the ones that's got to stay there overnight and wait for the next morning or whatever. So they're going to let you know. You're going to contact the broker. The broker say, "Yeah, I already heard from the shipper." You know, whatever, but make sure you contact the broker to let them know too.
Okay.
Okay. Communication. That's why you are in the mix. This is what you get paid your 10% for. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Thank you.
You all are the glue that makes the whole thing stick. All right. So this BOL, you got your pro number. You got your third party charges billed to. This is a pretty good ship because it pretty much tells you, we'll take care of it, third party charges, whatever the case may be. Freight charge term, freight charges are prepaid unless marked otherwise. Prepaid in ad, okay? Master bill of lading with attached underlying bill of lading. It's got the code there, the little scanning code there. Let somebody else in here. You got your scanning codes there, all that stuff there. So all you gotta do is scan it, pull up everything that you need to have. Emergency hazmat number goes there. That's in case you have a spill or something waste and you carry some chemicals, or whatever the case may be. You want to have that emergency hazmat number. Y'all give me a second. All right, sorry about that. You got the emergency hazmat number. Can y'all still hear me?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
That's in case you have a spill or any type of hazardous material spill or anything like that. You got the account, the Chemtrek account number, that they're gonna ask you for, if in case you have an emergency with hazmat or anything like that. Customer order form. Here again, you got your PO number of packages that says 1. The weight was is that the weight or is that the rate? Yeah, that's the weight. The weight was this is very small load. It was one package, 1,712 pounds. Kind of very small small load. Additional shipper information, you got that shipper's number right there. Quality 1, weight right there again. Class 70. That's the type of commodity class, things right there. And then it has where the rate is dependent on value. That's neither here, but make sure you read this. COD amount, if there's anything on COD, which in this case there wasn't. Note, anything that says note, make sure you read it. Liability limitations for loss or damages in this shipment may be applicable. See 49 UCS, the location number right there. Receive subject individually determined rates or contracts that have been agreed upon in writing between the carrier and the shipper, if applicable, otherwise to the rates, classification, and rules that have been established by the carrier and are available to the shipper on request and to all applicable state and federal regulations. Okay. Then you got your signatures by the shipper, signed there, by the driver, signed there. Shipper counted, the freight was counted by the shipper, trailer was loaded by the shipper, freight was counted by the shipper, and then all your signatures and stuff there. That's your BOL. Make sure that you get a copy of this from the carrier. You got to send a copy over to the broker, and everybody got a copy of it. And make sure you keep copies of all your forms in-house with you, in case something comes up down the path or whatever case may be. Also, you're going to keep copy of this stuff to make sure that you are able to get paid. Okay, and we'll go over how to guarantee that you get paid every time next week when we do invoices. Any questions about the BOL?
No.
All right, that's it. That's a nice training. Okay, the key things to take away from this: do not ever take the rate confirmation lightly. Okay, don't ever disrespect that rate confirmation. Okay, because I'm telling you all this now. I'm telling you all this because I'm telling you, if you start taking that rate confirmation lightly, you could wind up, costing your carrier not just a whole bunch of money, but costing them their career. So you all now understand when I say this is the most important piece of document that you're ever going to deal with. You all understand that?
Yes.
And you all see why that is.
Yeah.
All right. Those two things right there, that especially that rate confirmation. That rate confirmation is the most important piece of document you will ever deal with.
I got a question.
Yes.
That next training that you're going to do in the mornings, when are you going to start that?
Officially, we're going to start back on Monday morning. I've got about 21 videos already out on that. It's called you can just Google or you can go to you can go to YouTube and just put in on YouTube, just search. I'm show y'all what to search for, and you can find it. Go to YouTube search and just put in RBBS load board report. RBBS. Load board report, PORT. You put that in, and there they are right there, the load board report. I got a whole bunch of them.
But you're going to start doing them live? How many days?
I've always done them live. Okay, I've always done them like 6 a.m. Till about 7 a.m. live. I go on. Basically, it's like I said in the load board report, a daily review of what's going on in your neck of the woods when it comes to freight availability. In other words, I go on, I look at every state and tell you what the load count is in every state. After I do that, then I invite carriers and dispatchers to call me up on the toll-free number or to come on live on YouTube and let me know what type of truck and trailer they have, what type of trailer they have, okay, where they are. So in other words, if you need a load, call me up. I will locate a load for you live on YouTube and give it away to you for free. I won't charge you a dispatch fee for it because in order for me to legally dispatch someone for a fee, I got to have what? A pre-existing agreement, right? So I actually just give away freight.
I'm just trying to understand. Because I know you got tons of videos, but the live, we'll be doing it what, 5 days a week or one
Like
day
I said,
a week?
if you go and watch one of these videos, you will know exactly what it is. Trust me on that. Okay. If you go and watch any one of these videos on the says load board report, you'll know exactly what it is.
Okay.
Okay. So just take this, just go and pull up one of them and watch it, and watch the load board report. Watch any of the load board reports. If you want to, you can go to our channel and there's nice little we have a playlist for it. Go to our channel, click playlist, and look for the load board report.
Okay.
I got a whole bunch of playlists. How to identify and create high-paying dedicated lanes. That's a playlist. And there's a load board report right there. 21 videos, load board report. I've got 21 videos from the load board report. I don't do these every morning, or I don't do them every month. What I normally do is I do it for about 2 weeks, then I'll take about 2 or 3 weeks off. Then I do 2 more weeks of the load board report, and I take 2 or 3 weeks off. Okay, because remember, I still run a dispatch firm, but 2 weeks, I'll take 2 weeks and do the load board report, just to show people how this is done live. But now what I'm going to be doing is, instead of doing it at 6 a.m., I'm going to be doing it at 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. because I want people to be able to hear my conversations with the brokers. I want people to get the full picture, because at 6 a.m. when I'm doing the load board report, I'm not talking to brokers, or most brokers don't get in until 7 o'clock. Okay. So what I was doing before was I would actually go and find the loads, give all the broker information to the carrier who called me up and asked me about finding them a load, and then let them book that freight. You see what I'm saying? Let them book it. Now, legally, I can't book that load for a carrier because I don't have them under pre-existing agreement, like the statute says. You understand what I'm saying? So basically what I'm doing is I'm actually just kind of doing all the pre-work, looking for the freight for them, showing people how I go on the load boards, how I analyze freight, how I analyze the load board, how I look at a snapshot of the country, how I'm determining what state has the most loads at, and what areas have the most dedicated freight and stuff like this and that. And somebody calls me up and say, hey, I'm in Florida, I'm in Georgia, I'm in this and that, and I'm a flatbed and I need a load, leaving out of such and such freight. I go on and I look for them freight. Once I find a load that looks like it's decent and they like it, right? I normally would go ahead and give them that broker's information, that load information, and all that type of stuff, and show them how they can book a reverse load or a back haul, as they call it, and give them all of that information for them to call up that broker at 7 a.m. and go ahead and book that load. But now I'm going to start doing it at 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. so I can go ahead and get the broker on the phone. Let them know, Mr. Broker, this is Calvin Butler with the RBBS Transport LLC. I got a carrier on the phone right now who's interested in load number blase, 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 blase. Tell me about that load. I see it picking up here and it's going there. The rate that I'm seeing is this. Is there anything, can we get anything more out of that? You see what I'm saying? I'm now gonna let people be privy to that conversation between myself and that broker. Okay, but I'm not going to charge that carrier any dispatch fee. I'm gonna sit there with that broker. I'm gonna try and get the rate up for them. Once I get that, I'm gonna say, okay, I'm gonna have that. Okay, I'm gonna have my carrier. I'm gonna call you right now. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and let him know about this load, and I think he wants it because he's on the phone right now, and he's telling me that he wants it. So I'm gonna go ahead and have them to go ahead and call you, so they can go ahead and take care of that. Y'all see how that works? Because legally, I cannot book that load for them. Now, for free, I could go in there and kind of, set the groundwork, but legally, I can't book a load for a carrier that I don't have in the contract. Okay? That's why you all can't just go out and find freight and then post it on Facebook and say, I got this freight, I need a carrier to run it. No, you can't do it that way. That's illegal. You must have a carrier under contract first, and then look for freight that they want in order to be able to do what you're doing for money. Now, if you're gonna do it for free, yeah. like what I do on the load board report, yeah. But y'all don't want to work, but y'all don't want to work for free, right? Right?
Not me.
Right.
Exactly.
Absolutely not.
I
Get
do it.
paid.
I do it for free because I make money from YouTube by having this compelling type of interaction and showing people these live things like this, and that's bringing more people to my YouTube channel, and they're watching me longer, and it also prompts people to say, well, how do you get access to these load boards? At the end, if they want to join our platform, that kind of prompts people to bring them into our platform. You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of like a marketing gimmick, really. But I'm actually, somebody's having a whole conversation in the background. Well, they got a TV set on or something. Okay, all right. But it's more of a marketing tool, and a training tool is what I use it for. People can come on, they can see how it's actually done, and now with the way I'm gonna be doing it, now they get actually hear the conversation and see the interaction that I have with brokers, and you get a sense of that type of relationship that you got to have with brokers in real time. There's nothing like seeing this in real time, and I'm trying to give people the experience, as much of a authentic real-time experience as possible. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So if y'all want to tune into that, get up at 7 a.m. Monday through Fridays, tune in to the load board report. All right. If you got a carrier that needs a load,
Starting Monday?
Starting Monday.
Yes, sir.
Is that Eastern? Is that Eastern Standard Time?
That's Eastern Standard Time. I will. Now, I'm not gonna always be on at 7 a.m. because I got my own little people that I need to dispatch for too now. Sometimes I come on at 7. Sometimes I come on at 7:30. Sometimes I might not come on until 8. But it's gonna be the load board report. It's gonna be live. All right. And the reason why I pushed it back to 7 because that's when brokers usually get into the office. And I want you all to have that experience of seeing, how those conversations go with brokers and stuff. It's gonna help you all become more comfortable in dealing with them. Okay.
Sounds like a plan. Mm-hmm.
All right. All right, everybody. That's gonna do it tonight.
Hey, Calvin.
Yeah.
Hey, you sure you want to do it Monday since it's a holiday?
Yeah, Monday's a holiday.
Yeah.
Well, it's probably gonna be Tuesday, y'all. I forgot all about Monday was a holiday. But I saw some good loads on coming out of Texas, man. For all this weekend, there's a load coming out of somewhere in Texas. I'm gonna let y'all go here. I go to it and pull it up. I was just kind of going over some stuff, and I happened to see this load. And I was like, my God, this is a good load, and it is a dedicated. It it is a dedicated, and it's one of those week-long loads. So y'all hear what I'm talking about. I think it's a reefer too. But it is an incredible load.
I think it's coming from the port.
It's coming from Taylor, Texas, going to Arapahoe, Oklahoma. Reefer. Y'all see that? That's the actual, what you call it.
Oh, wow.
Now, it is a heavyweight load.
Mm-hmm.
See, it's what's called it. That's what the RGN R stands for. It is heavy. 146,000 pounds, but it's 14,500 bucks.
Wow.
Now it's only going 466 miles, but with that kind of weight, it's gonna take you a minute. It's gonna take you a minute to run it. And as you all can see, it runs every single. It runs on this, the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth,
Wow.
the sixth, the seventh, every day of the week, including Saturdays and Sundays. Now it is a two-stop load. Okay, that's probably why it's paying so much. It is a two-stop load. You see right here, stops 2.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it is a two-stop load, but it is a good load for somebody who pulls heavy haul.
With this quick pay available, is that a commodity that's factored or?
Yeah, most loads are, but just about all broker loads are factored. I don't know a broker out there that doesn't factor load. I mean, people will put quick pay available because now that quick pay could mean that there's a whole bunch of ways you can do quick pay. There's a whole bunch of variations of quick pay. Some quick pays will pay you half of the load up front.
Mm-hmm.
Once you've picked it up, before it's delivered, you can get half your pay. Okay. Some quick pays pays you the same day you drop. Some quick pays within 2 days. There's a whole bunch of variations of quick pay. Because if it's not quick pay, anything that's 3 days or less, or really anything 5 days or less is quick pay, because a shipper can take up to, how long can a shipper take up to pay you there? To pay the broker?
It depends. It could take up to even 60 days.
Yes.
But normally it's usually
legal,
about 30, but it goes up to 60.
Yeah, legally, a shipper can take up to 120 days. Legally. To pay on a load.
Mm.
That's why all loads are pretty much factory. Because the factory company will wait out for the money, and then they'll give you your money now for that, 3 to 5%. See what I'm saying? That's why factory companies make so much money. Because shippers can take that time to pay out loads, but nobody wants to wait that long. So you have these factory companies who are basically just financial institutions that are fronting you the money. They're almost like a payday advance loan. That's all factories. That's all factory companies are. They are a fancy payday loan. Right there. That's basically what they are.
Mm.
Right. Because and the broker, they do the same quick pay. Usually some of them charge more.
Yeah.
But they do the same thing. They'll do 2 days, 7 days. They have a breakdown.
Exactly.
If you get it in 2 days, it's 5%. If you wait until 7 days, it's 3%.
Yep.
So
Exactly.
they usually have 3 steps.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a fancy a payday cash loan. That's all it is.
Payday loan.
That's all it is. That's all it is. But like I said, there's a billion ways to make money in this industry. Okay, trust me on that. There are a billion ways to make money within this industry. Okay. So I've never seen anything like this industry. So you all are in the right place. All right. But I saw that on the down. I was like, wow, that's a pretty good load. I need to call up some of my guys. Matter of fact, I put in a call to a couple of my guys that do heavy loads. but none of them are in Texas right now.
That part. That
none,
part.
of, none of my heavy people are in Texas right now. So if y'all got some people out there who do heavy load, there it is. All right. But that's pretty good. There's quite a few dedicated out there in Texas right now. So as y'all can see that, but anyway, but look, I appreciate everybody. Thank you all for tuning in.
Excuse me, there's no meeting Monday night, right?
No, well, I think I'm
Holiday.
gonna, yeah, well,
Holiday.
I know. I'll try to,
Holiday.
I'll try to have it on Tuesday night. We'll see
You
if we
try
can
to
do it on,
what?
we'll try to have it on Tuesday night or
Okay, thank you.
Sunday night, but it'll probably be Tuesday night. But that's for the owners meeting though. That's just for the
Okay.
owners. That we have on Monday
Thank
night
you.
anyway. All right. Oh, and just a little heads up for the owners. Miss Jen Williams is finally, she's got all her stuff in ready. She's up and running. Her RBBS Logistics Learning Center 3 is up and going. She's got her own Spotify broadcast that she does. Y'all go check it out. All the stuff is on it's on our Facebook page. It's on her group, on her RBBS page. You can go to Facebook and look for RBBS Logistics Learning Center 3, the number 3. We'll look for it. RBBS Logistics Learning Center 3. That's hers. She got a Spotify up. When she does her Spotify broadcast, very interesting broadcast. So go check it out. She's got a nice perspective on all things freight. So y'all go check that out.
I'll be checking you out, Miss Jen.
Okay, and all her websites are up. Her vocational school site is up. Her back office site is up. She got her own mydispatcher.org site. She has her own Easily site that's up. So all of her stuff is up. So make sure y'all go and support her and all her efforts and things, this and that, and see her stuff on Facebook. Share it. Let people know that they can sign up through her. And of course, we are now partnered with Afterpay. So anybody that wants to sign up for our platform, they can go through Afterpay and pay their enrollment fee in 4 weekly installments and have no interest on it. They can choose 6 weekly installments, but they're going to pay interest on it if they choose the 6 weeks equal installments. So I think at the 4 weeks it's like $82 and some change, and on the 6 weeks I think it's like $62 and some change. So making it very easy for people to become a part of the RBBS just not a training platform. All right, everybody. Look, I thank everybody. I appreciate you all for coming out and hanging out with me tonight and learning something about the rate cons and BOLs and this little dispatching thing that we do. And I will see you all next Thursday. Same bat channel, same bat time. And the next Thursday, we're going to be going over invoicing, how to get paid, get stuff, how to get paid. That's what we're going to do next Thursday. All right. Y'all have a great day. Bye, everybody.
All right, good
Good
night.
night. Good night.